What's going on, YouTube? Listen, it's another beautiful day out here in the Tennessee forest. It's springtime. The conditions are absolutely beautiful out here. And I thought it'd be cool to get out here and do a little training, but I also wanted to show you guys something that I dug up from the relic bin of history. Some of you guys might recognize this knife. Maybe growing up as a kid, you might have had one of these. You know, you probably saw it in the Bud K or Cheaper Than Dirt catalogs. You know, remember that time when you used to get catalogs in the mail before the internet was a thing? So anyways, to make a long story short, this was my grandfather's knife, and when he passed away, he gave me, you know, a fair amount of his stuff, right? And this was one of his knives. And, you know, it's just kind of been sitting around collecting dust, and I was sorting through some gear a while back, and I stumbled on it. So, you know, I figured, you know, what the heck? I'm going to give this knife a chance. I'm going to take it out in the field, put it through the same regime that I do with all my other knives, doing all the basic tasks that you would expect a knife to be able to perform, and give it a chance. Because, you know, I know a lot of you guys are probably sitting there and saying, you know, oh my God, you know, he's got a variation on the Rambo knife. You know, check this out. It's got a, you know, a little medical kit inside, and you've got to be freaking kidding me. It's a hollow handle. So, you know, I'm sure when he looks at this the wrong way, it's going to fall apart. Well, you know what, maybe that's the case, but I'm going to give this knife a chance, like I said, and see what it can do out here. So without further ado, let's get down to business and see how tough this blade actually is. Before we get down to actual work on this knife, I just want to show you guys the basic features of the knife. So on the outside here, you got a hard plastic case, which is nice. There's a paracord wrap here. I'm not sure if this is genuine paracord or not, but whatever the case is, it's still cordage. Now you see there's some cordage hanging down here, and you see these two little clips right here. This is designed to actually attach around your leg, your upper thigh, to keep it stable while you're out walking or running, so it doesn't flop against your leg, which is always annoying. So it's nice to have that. And then you see these two metal prongs here flip out, and I imagine that this could be used as a slingshot, right? You would attach some tubing to here maybe, and there's your slingshot, but the tubing is long gone. It's disintegrated over the years, or fallen off, or gotten lost, or whatever. So anyways, that's the basic outside of the knife. And then the knife itself, this is the Aitor Jungle King 2. It's made in Spain, and it is made of inoxidable stainless steel. Now, that's a really big word. I'm not sure what it means, but I imagine it means that the blade doesn't rust, so that's always a bonus too. So looking at the basic knife design, you can see it's obviously the classic survival knife inspired by the Rambo movies. It's got this nice smooth edge, drop point, heavy duty saw teeth on top, and then of course the dreaded hollow handle. And inside this handle, you know, obviously it's hollow, definitely not full tang or even partial tang. And you know, here you got a looks like a water resistant or waterproof little plastic container here, and looks like we got some band-aids in here, a few matches, maybe some fishing line, just some of the basic odds and ends you'd find in a pre-made survival kit. So that's nice to have. And then of course it just screws right back in there like that, and you're ready to go. So anyways, the first thing I'm going to do with this is batoning, because if this knife is going to fail, it's going to fail doing that. So let's find out, see how it holds up. So as a testament to the Jungle King 2, it performed pretty well. I just split up all that wood there. Some of it was really dead wood, and some of it was pretty fresh that had fallen. And as you guys can see, it performed pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead and see what it can do, making some tinder, maybe making some shavings, try to make a little bit of a feather stick out of this stuff, and then we'll see how well that edge has held up after batoning this amount of wood here. As you can see, this kind of work kind of sucks because this sawtooth right here, put your hand on there and start putting some pressure, man, you're going to feel it. So not exactly designed for this type of thing. You got to put your hand all the way out here. That's the only flat part to the spine. You put it here, you got the teeth. Over here you got a pretty sharp edge. So that's a big downside right there when you end up with the big row of saw teeth on the top. But you know, I can still do a little bit. Nothing too major, but the edge is still there. I'm just going to bust up my fingers on this sawtooth if I continue this much more. But you can see, not too shabby. Okay, so you've seen that we've been able to baton a fair amount of wood without this terribly fragile hollow handle snapping off, so I was happy to see that. You also saw that when it comes to making tinder or a feather stick, this sawtooth top on the spine is just awful. You got no spot to guide the blade with your thumb, so that's definitely a downside. But you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and do something you guys might not have thought of, but I have, and that is actually to use the saw. Let's see what it can do. So, as I predicted, guys, this thing is not working out too well. I'm already chock full of wood here, and definitely not making much progress on that tree. That's why you do never buy a knife with a sawtooth on the spine. There are certain tasks that knives can perform, and sawing is not one of them. So, there's a little downside there, but you know, hey, it is what it is. And now for the final test of the Jungle King 2, we're going to just go ahead and try to take down this small little tree right here. Okay, so that about wraps it up for the field test of the Jungle King 2. You guys saw what it can do, and much to my surprise, it did not fall apart batoning, so that was nice. It just kind of goes to prove that you can't believe every internet myth you hear out there. Now granted, I'm not out in the field for 5 or 6 days. I'm not using this non-stop for that period of time. It might fail, but out here for a couple hours of the batoning I did, it held up really well. Now, of course, you guys did see the downside, the huge downside to this sawtooth right here. It gets all clogged up when you attempt to saw anything, so that's worthless. And then where it really sucks, and it really is really a pain, is when you're trying to make tinder or shavings. You know, your thumb doesn't like being on top of these sharp spikes, so that's another downside. But hey, you know, for 20 bucks, the knife held up really well. The edge is still nice and sharp, so I really can't complain. So you know, if you guys got one of these laying around, or you got an extra 20 bucks and you just want to blow it on a cool little relic of history, go for it. I would not, I'm not going to say that this is going to replace my primary survival knife by any stretch, but for just a cheap knife that you want to throw in the truck or your vehicle and kind of have as a backup, go for it. It held up pretty well. So anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching, checking out the channel. Be sure to pass the link around to your friends. We're trying to build up as many subscribers as possible. And until next time, you guys get out there and train, and I'll talk to you later.